Nothing has been giving me more joy this holiday season than watching the MAGA movement fall apart. Donald Trump is desperately trying to hold on to MAGA and to reality itself, which is clearly slipping away from him fast. But the cracks within the movement are widening every single day, and the newest development is a major blow to Trump, as yet another Republican announced today that they are abandoning him. It's a political bombshell, and we'll break it all down. But before we get into that, a quick request. Please leave a like on this video, and if you enjoy our channel, make sure to hit the subscribe button. It really helps support our work. Now, before diving into this latest bombshell about Donald Trump, I want to look at some of the reporting on the growing tensions inside MAGA, who could be next to jump ship, and why this could also spell trouble for Mike Johnson.
That is the sentiment of nearly all appropriators, authorizers, hawks, doves, rank and file. The arrogance of this White House team is off-putting to members who are run roughshod and threatened. They don't even allow little wins like announcing small grants or even responding from agencies. Not even the high profile, the regular rank and file, random members are more upset than ever. Members know they are going into the minority after the midterms. More explosive early resignations are coming. It's a tinderbox. Morale has never been lower. Mike Johnson will be stripped of his gavel, and they will lose the majority before this term is out. That's not a reporter summarizing what the reporter has found. That is a senior House Republican putting it in writing, in a text, saying, members know they are going into the minority after the midterms. It's a tinderbox. Morale has never been lower. Mike Johnson will be stripped of his gavel. In other words, the senior House Republican who wrote that is a rational politician who can see that insane policies that hurt voters will hurt the party supporting those policies. You do bad things in government and you lose elections. And what that senior House Republican is saying is that virtually all House Republicans know this. The senior members, the junior members. And that's why it's a tinderbox. What they need to turn the tinderbox into a functioning congressional party is for a calming, steady leader to guide them. And they're stuck with Donald Trump. And so they know it's hopeless. And what is Donald Trump's relentlessly incompetent White House staff trying to do? They're trying to guide Donald Trump and the Republicans out of the tinderbox to political safety by simply having them completely reverse themselves on health care and embrace Obamacare. The New York Times reports President Trump, who has repeatedly denounced the Affordable Care Act as a disaster, is considering backing an extension of insurance subsidies tied to the health law that are set to expire at the end of the year, according to a senior White House official. Mr. Trump has not made a final decision, the official said. The tinderbox must have loved that, right? It's a way out of their problems, right? Punchbowl News reports that the Trump healthcare proposal was supposed to be rolled out yesterday, but is now paused.
I think I'm going to get through this entire video with a huge smile on my face. It might be tough to say everything without laughing, but honestly, it's just that satisfying. These resignations we're seeing tell a much bigger story about what Republicans in Congress are really focused on right now. And it's not just Marjorie Taylor Greene's resignation. There are more coming. And we'll get into that in a moment. What's becoming clear is that Republicans are far more concerned about the general election and the midterms than about their individual primaries. They no longer believe Donald Trump wants to get involved or even can get involved in their primaries the way he used to. What's even worse for Trump is that they don't think he's willing to waste political capital on trying to control those races anymore. He's not seen as the guy who can determine who rises or falls within the party. We've already seen the signs. In the recent elections in New Jersey and Virginia, Trump didn't endorse the gubernatorial candidates. Why? because he knew they were going to lose. So what does it tell you when Trump avoids getting involved in GOP primaries heading into the midterms? It means he knows he's likely to lose again. Trump's grip on the Republican Party has been slipping badly day by day. And now you have Marjorie Taylor Greene openly mocking him, basically saying he's no longer the powerhouse he once was and claiming she is the true face of MAGA. In my opinion, that's exactly why she resigned. Not because of any high-minded principle, and she isn't the only one. Plenty of Republicans are trying to bail out early, whether because they have bigger political ambitions or because they're terrified of getting embarrassed. And that ties directly into the newest bombshell announcement we're seeing today. Republican U.S. Representative Mike Nels says he won't seek re-election. Republican Representative Troy Nels announced on Saturday that he would not seek re-election for another term in Congress. I have made the decision after conversations with my beautiful bride and my girls over the Thanksgiving holiday to focus on my family and return home after this Congress, Nels said in a statement. Nels, 57, who represents a Texas district in the House of Representatives, said he spoke to Donald Trump before making the decision. Nels was first elected in 2020. Another Republican has stepped down. And this one was a close Trump ally, which makes it even more significant. This is happening in Texas, where Trump and Greg Abbott's gerrymandered map was supposed to secure key seats for the GOP. When Republicans originally drew those maps months ago, they assumed Trump's approval couldn't drop much further. They expected him to hover around 42 to 44%. But that hasn't happened. Recent polls show Trump sinking to 36%, 35%, even 34% approval, with GOP disapproval growing. The districts Republicans drew weren't landslide safe. They were only slightly tilted GOP, maybe 6 to 8 points for Trump back in 2024. Now, after major shifts in the elections earlier this month, those same seats could swing toward Democrats. So if you're Troy Nels, why stay and risk an embarrassing loss? Why stick around to get humiliated when you can exit early, especially if you're tired of Trump or have other political plans? These early exits and resignation threats show that Trump's hold on MAGA has weakened dramatically. If Trump truly had the same influence, he'd pressure his loyalists to run again to protect those seats. Instead, even they don't want to take the risk. Many Republicans see the upcoming cycle as a potential bloodbath and don't want to be the ones caught in it. Trump is losing control of his party. He's panicking about gerrymanders failing, like the one collapsing in Indiana, and he keeps damaging himself with offensive comments, including the slur he used over Thanksgiving. Even Republicans in Indiana's state Senate are now openly rejecting him over those remarks, although they're years late considering Trump has mocked people with disabilities before. The bigger picture? Trump is losing momentum fast, and the GOP knows it. He's flailing. And right now, he's fixated on one race in Tennessee, where Afton Vann, an impressive Democratic candidate, is scaring MAGA so badly that J.D. Vance held an event for her opponent and Trump tried a teletown hall. Even AOC has stepped in to counter it. This race could deliver one of the most damaging blows yet to Trump's shrinking influence in Congress.
No, I mean, the only reason this race is competitive is because Tennesseans are feeling the pain of what's happening in Washington. Republicans and their billionaire friends are spending millions in a seat that they should be able to win without thinking. And if we flip this seat in an R+22 district, it sends a message that the Republicans need to get really serious about making healthcare more affordable.
I'm sure you've heard a lot about healthcare. When you've been talking with voters, what are the other issues that are rising to the surface?
We have a crisis of affordability in the state of Tennessee. We have the highest cost of groceries in the country. We have people, voters in the district that are driving 2 hours to access healthcare. Things are not okay. Things are really dire. And I think voters in the 7th Congressional District are looking for a candidate. And throughout this campaign, I've always said, I don't care who you voted for. I don't care what political party you belong to. But if you are upset about the cost of living and the chaos of Washington, then I'm your candidate.
Part of the big news, of course, the president and the Speaker of the House hosting a tele-rally for your opponent. Do you think that's good news or bad news for you?
I think it means they're desperate and fraught with the onslaught of attack ads against me. The only reason that they are putting out all the stops is because they don't have a plan to tackle the healthcare issue and the affordability crisis. And so I'm not surprised that they are calling in reinforcements, but I see their teletown hall and I raise them 10,000 doors that we're probably going to knock this weekend.
I want to hear what it is you're hearing from voters on the other side of those doors, because that is, you are correct, the real work. What does it tell you, though, that it's a tele-rally, that they couldn't get their butts to Tennessee?
I don't know. Perhaps they want to keep some distance between this incredibly unpopular candidate that they're running, who is my opposition. But like I said, I mean, we have knocked tens of thousands of doors in this campaign. I just left a middle of the day, get out the vote canvas with 40 people. The energy here is palpable and voters want change. And so my pitch has always been, if you want more of the status quo, if you want more of billionaires selling you out, then I'm not your candidate.
Right now, there's a very real chance that Republicans could start resigning from Congress in large numbers. And if Democrats manage to flip this particular seat, the situation becomes even more dangerous for the GOP. Those potential resignations, whether sparked by Pete Hegseth's war crimes controversy, Trump parroting Putin's talking points, the Epstein files, or anything else, would make it much easier for the gavel to end up in the hands of a Speaker Hakeem Jeffries. This is major. Our attention needs to stay on Tennessee, and we'll be covering it closely on this show. If you want to support the work, hit that subscribe button and leave a like. And if you made it all the way to the end, drop a blue heart in the comments. And until next time, I will see you soon.